a year, one in the spring, one in the fall.
Thank you.
Okay.
We're going to call the May 2nd meeting of the Fountain Hill Borough Council to order. I'm going to ask everybody to stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would note for the record that Ms. Graham and Mr. Roof are not here. Everyone else is present. We're going to go out of turn just a little bit. We have a very special guest tonight. Our county executive is here. Mr. Armstrong, I believe you wish to say a few words.
Well, I'm not sure of the word special guest, but it's,
You're a very special
Can you use
guest.
it? Yeah, can you use the mic, Mr. Armstrong, for our friends in streaming world?
okay. Yeah, it's nice. I had kind of we had the COVID, but back out, and as I said, I try to get to every meeting, one meeting of every 25 municipalities every year, and it's taken me a little longer this year. It's either I'm getting older or these meetings are just getting different. But first, I'd like to thank Fountain Hill very much for your cooperation to allowing the Dropbox. That's very, very important that we get one Dropbox in every district and that they're under surveillance and that they're in secure locations. So we do appreciate that very, very much. Also, if you read the morning call, we have hired a new position in Lehigh County, a county liaison. Really, I saw a definite need in this last year of somebody that we can have to work with the 25 communities, to work with the nonprofits and the small businesses. You know, with the CARES funding and the rescue funds, we've been distributing a lot of funds to different, well, the CARES funding we gave Fountain Hill. With all this, so we definitely thought we needed somebody to help get through the red tape, that if you have a problem, and you'll probably get to meet him. He's been coming to some of the meetings with me. Yorman de la Rosa. His story was on the front page of the morning call today, but I'm not sure many people read that paper anymore. But I really wanted to let all the municipalities know that we are reaching out and we want to be able to, if there's a problem, you know, help out. I know your former manager is now on our diversity council. He was not happy in retirement. I guess he needed something to do. So we gave him a job. So, but what my real thing is, why I come out, is to hear if you have any questions for me about what's going on in the county or anything that you need to know. I want to keep that line of communication between us. So, and I appreciate you letting me go in first so I can get to somewhere else yet tonight. But do you have any questions on anything going on in the county?
I don't. Anybody? No, if you think you're doing a good job.
Well, we're very happy, by the way, with Cedar Brook Fountain Hill, and we're still keeping a 4-star rating, which is very difficult with, if you know any, by the way, if you know anybody, we still have half the polling places in Lehigh County of the 160 where we need Spanish interpreters. So if you know anybody that would like that job for that day, we are hiring. We've gone to the local colleges, we've held job fairs, but we're still short many, many people. So if anybody wants to get active, and as I was talking with a gentleman coming in, the more you get active, the more you get concerned, the more you do the right thing. So if you know anybody, please reach out and let us know. No? Yes?
I have a question. For someone who is in, say, Cedar Brook, how are they going to vote?
Well, I'm just going to say, with the mail-in ballots now,
Okay, well,
they should be Mine arrived today, actually. We were a little bit behind Northampton County because we had some people questioning the ballot, whether they were on it or not. So we had to wait till those cases were settled before we could go to the printer. But we worked all weekend, and if you didn't get your ballot today, you should get it by tomorrow. Also, what else they can do is, and I actually did this for somebody myself, if you could not get to the polls yourself, you can deem somebody else that could come and get your ballot for you. They have to sign, you have to sign, then they can take that ballot to you, have you vote, and bring it back.
Well, that's what I wanna do, because I'm doing it for someone else. My brother's in Cedar Brook, so.
There's a form, you get the form, you fill it out, they fill it out, then you can go and do that, and I've done that.
I sent the request for a ballot in last week.
Again, you should be getting it. Mine came today, so within the next couple days. If you don't get one, please contact us at the voter registration department,
Okay.
okay?
And also, are the League of Women Voters, are they putting out their guide, election guide again?
Absolutely. In fact, we help fund that every year. We give
When is
them-
that coming out?
Should be soon. I will check with them. I know Mary Earlman is one of the, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll let her know. But I think they're gonna be doing it soon.
Okay.
And there are people who, candidates that don't answer, they kind of try to give them enough time before they go ahead and, but there are some that
Mhm.
just don't fill it out.
I can also help with that too. If you need a ride to the polls, there is a number you can call. A separate organization outside of Lehigh County is offering people to get them to the polls. That phone number is 484-263-0385, and I'll make sure that somebody has that access. But they will help come pick you up, drive you to the poll, and then take you home if you can, or to a Dropbox ballot as well.
And just on Friday, we did a webcast, but AARP of Pennsylvania had a special webcast at 1 o'clock, which is available on AARP's website, to tell everybody, especially senior citizens, what to do and how to do it and how they can help. We have everything in place, just to have to get you out there, that's all. But please, one ballot per person in the Dropbox.
Unless you have your proxy form.
Yes, yeah. And I understand there's been legislation introduced that if it passes, I don't know, where you'd be allowed to drop off your spouses. Ohio allows that. We don't yet, but still need some.
Are these drop boxes gonna be surveilled so that?
Oh, there isn't a Dropbox that does not have surveillance, okay? That's how we found out. We looked at all the surveillance boxes and then counted how many ballots came in from each one and how many people walked up to the Dropbox, and there were more ballots than there were people walking up.
I wear that hat too, Mr. True.
Yeah.
So that's my hat also.
Oh, okay.
I'm the IT guy for that.
Yes.
You wear a lot of hats.
And it's,
Luckily, I have a gigantic head.
well, and he wears them well too. Okay. Any other questions for anybody from Fountain Hill? Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay,
Thank you for coming out,
All right.
Mr. Armstrong.
all right, thank you.
All right, we're gonna now return to the agenda with the first item of business, being the approval of the minutes from the last meeting of April 20th. I turned in numerous corrections, which I really do not want to go over, but I will. On page 1, under Mr. Zofko's talk, I believe the word, the verb tense was wrong. It's were lackluster as opposed to was lackluster. I believe the word last should be taken out. On page 2, it's not the Recreation Committee meeting May 12th. It's the committee that Mr. Zofko wants to form. Ms. Spadacia's comment, the word member should be a small m, I believe. On the next paragraph down, the last word of the, next to the last line and the last line should be omitted as duplicative. Down on Ms. Brianna Warner's paragraph, the word also is misspelled, and the word a should be before real estate. On page 3, at the bottom, the word invasive, the I is capitalized. I don't think it ought to be. I believe that's all that I found. Did anybody else find any? Seeing and hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as amended. Is that Ms. Jordan?
Second.
And Mr. Trable. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The minutes as amended are approved. Doreen, would you please look to see if anybody else signed up besides Mr. Armstrong?
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Zofko, I see you're on the list. You
Yes.
may address council.
Good evening, this is Mike Zofko, 507 Green Court, Fountain Hill. As you recall from last meeting, I was here talking on behalf of the pool and with possibilities of keeping it open. I don't intend to speak as long as I did last week, but I want you again to reconsider the determination of the pool, considering the alternatives that we presented and will present more after the Citizens Committee meeting on May 12th. And essentially, to recap, it's responsibility to go to the Citizen Committee, and it would take that responsibility of management and working, et cetera, take that burden off the council and off the Recreation Committee, although working in conjunction with them as to their prerogative. Reasons we think would be important is also new programs and also new staffing approaches that we intend to put through for the guards. We think this would save the pool and not, again, be a burden on the tax base. As you know, the end game on my part and my agenda is essentially to arrange or form some kind of citizens committee in the hopes of getting a community center, or having something like that in the borough. The pool would be a very critical piece to that. Without the pool, it's just another basketball court maybe. This could be really part and parcel to what we need to do. You know, I understand rumors and you read things on Facebook, and I try to stay off that site as much as possible about the possibility this is a done deal, not to be resurrected. Everything can be changed if there's a will to do it. If there isn't a will to do it, it's like an embryo. The thing is easy to kill, especially in this small piece. So, if you really want to do it, you can find ways, okay? You've got the desire and the eagerness of a lot of people in the borough to try to do something like this and try to bring it back. Do I know it's going to be successful? I didn't bring my crystal ball tonight, so I don't really know. But the thing is, it's worth a try. And it's a fact that we don't want you to raise the taxes. We don't want you to do extra work. All we want you to do is sit back, cooperate with us, and see what we can do. We'll know very quickly if we're successful or not. That's all I have. Thank you very much, and hope you move on.
Thank you, Mike. Next person who signed up is Margaret Byer.
Hello, Margaret Byer, 1412 Graham Street. I have the same concerns that he does. Unfortunately, I didn't even know the pool was closing until last week. And I think there's a lot of people in the borough who probably don't know, because I did speak to quite a few of my neighbors and nobody knew. So I don't know how that came about, that nobody knew. But I would like to see the pool stay open too. I think you got young kids, they're not gonna have anything to do. they're gonna get in trouble, you know. And I just think it takes away from people who have recently moved in thinking they're gonna have a pool. And I think it takes away from the coziness of the community. You know, it's just so, they fought so hard to get this pool, and then it just, I think 2020 probably has a lot to do with the bad numbers perhaps from last year. I'm not sure, I wasn't here for anything in 2019. You know, I don't know what the attendance was like then, but I'm sure the last 2 years isn't really a good thing to go by as far as statistics on were people attending. I know last year when I used to drive by it, half the time it was closed. I don't even know if it was open that much. So I'd drive by and I'd go, well, you can't go there today, so. But I'm just here to, you know, hopefully support the pool. And that was it. And I do think that people just didn't know, you know, so. And I get the Bethlehem Press, and I am on Facebook, and it took me that long to figure it out that it was a no-go. So I was very disappointed. That's it.
Thank you very much. The last person who's actually signed our registration list is Carolee Infuso.
Yes. Hi, my name is Carolee Infuso. I am a former Fountain Hiller. I've lived here for 4 years. I grew up on Sioux Street, and Fountain Hill was the best growing up for everyone. I am also here about your pool. I heard a few weeks ago one of my sisters sent us a picture of the closing of the pool, which really disturbed me because I, like these two people here, believe that it is a big part of the community and is something that your children definitely need. So I kind of been rallying around some people that I know, and I made 2 phone calls today because I thought this was a done deal also until someone texted on Facebook last night and said it could be reversed. So I went ahead and made some phone calls. I actually found out today that there is a grant available for the swimming pool, okay? The community development grants that are available, the applications were supposed to be handed in by Thursday. I talked to a lady from the county today. She said there is an angle, okay? The angle is that you can get a grant to fix the swimming pool, and I told her that you might need $100,000 because from what I saw on the internet, it was like 23 for the year, 63,000 for upcoming, and then there might be even some more. So I told her 100,000. She told me that the only stipulation to this grant is that the pool could only be eligible to Fountain Hill residents, okay? My idea there was you can issue ID cards to Fountain Hill residents that go along with their pool passes. You would have to keep records of who's using the pool, but the grant could be granted. And I asked her if there's a possibility of this happening. She said yes. I asked who to talk to. She said she is the one to talk to. She told me to ask your borough manager, Eric Kratz, and also Jill Smith, to call her tomorrow about the grant for the swim.
Are you referring to the community development block grant?
Yes.
But it's a special grant. It's not just a community, it's a special grant.
Who'd you talk to, Lori?
Lori Moore,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah,
And she asked
Lori.
for you to call her tomorrow about the grant for the swimming pool.
Okay.
So that's my,
So the only issue with doing that is, one, council has to authorize us to apply for the grant.
okay,
And 2, the money is 50% of the issue with the pool,
okay, what's the other issues?
staffing.
Okay. Did you ever think of like fundraisers or even like, I mean, community, there's gotta
Well,
be
that's,
people here
I
that-
believe that's the angle that Mr. Zavko is going for
Okay.
with his
'Cause
community.
I made a list, which I forgot to bring with me, but a list of all different kind of, and I would be more than willing to come down and help with these things of, you know, things to do to help raise money. My one sister said it might be an issue of like upkeeping the pool after the grant is granted. And you have businesses here, maybe you can have 2 businesses sponsor each year for the upkeep of the pool. And then, like I said, there's so many different events that you could have. I mean, you wouldn't believe the money people spend to play bingo. You know?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think typically municipal government is not in the business of fundraising. So that would be where,
Would be
the community groups,
community fundraising.
absolutely, like
Yeah.
Mr. Zofko's reference.
Yes, I would be more than willing to, give my ideas and help out in any way I can. I still have a sister who lives in the hill, and,
He's meeting on May 12th in this very room at 7 p.m.
Okay. I didn't know about this meeting until last night. Someone texted on Facebook and said that this could possibly be revised, so I figured I'd show it, so. But that's, like I said, do you have Lori's number? I have it in my.
I talked to Laurie this morning, actually,
Okay,
and she
I
didn't.
talked to her this afternoon.
Yeah, so we didn't. There's money. There's a lot of different community development money out there. There's $200 and some thousand of it that's paying for
Yeah,
the
but she
Jeter
said
out
this
there.
would be a special one because it would be that it could only entertain the residents of Fountain Hill, which, as far as I'm concerned, is fine, but, it's just like something I feel like, you owe to your community, I mean, growing up here was the best, and there was I brag about my childhood here all the time, and the place still looks great. You guys are doing a great job, but it's something that kids need. It's therapeutic. It keeps them mentally stable. Swimming lessons. Who doesn't want their kids to learn how to swim? Adults who just want to go along to the pool with their kids. Keeps them off those things, So, it's an idea, but it's there.
Oh, we'll investigate. Obviously that's
And
council's.
my phone number's on the paper.
That's council's decision if they want to accept a grant that effectively locks down the pool.
Okay, so May 12th, back here.
Yes, ma'am.
May 12th is, Mr. Zofko's meeting in this room at 7 p.m.
7
Yeah,
o'clock.
that's not an official borough meeting.
we're
That's-
just allowing
that's
use of the room.
Citizens committee.
Okay, so you're doing a committee for the pool.
I'm doing a committee, right, a citizens committee, the pool,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, well, I'll.
And
bring
it's
the
not,
rest-
it's not associated with,
Right, I just brought this here because they said on Facebook last night about this meeting, so I just wanted to give everybody an idea of what, what came about with my phone calls this morning.
if you want to get involved, come to the meeting.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else wish to address council on an agenda item? Seeing and hearing none. Before we get to the mayor's report, we had an executive session at the end of the April 20th meeting. The purpose of the executive session was to discuss the replacement of the zoning officer, how the search committee was going, and what we propose to do moving forward. And no action was taken. Now, Mayor Johnson.
Hello, I just wanted to thank a couple of people. From last month, I had a busy month. Wanted to thank St. Luke's for the invitation and allowing me to sit in at the Admiral Levine roundtable discussion on mental health. Fountain Hill Little League for letting me throw out their first pitch. That was kind of the highlight of my week. And then for Arbor Day, the Shade Tree Commission, President Blatt and Jason and his crew for putting together a nice presentation for was it a Red Bud, I believe? It was. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Borough Manager's report.
All right, so we moved on to ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, trying to find someone to do the zoning and code enforcement job. We were able to secure a fairly well-qualified candidate who the Personnel Committee will be interviewing tomorrow. So hopefully that works out. In the meanwhile, I am currently facilitating all things zoning myself with Mr. Berger's assistance, and I am facilitating the third-party code enforcement from Base Engineering. So hopefully we get someone in place, and then I can go back to doing the borough manager job more than 50% of the time or 40% of the time. The 902 grant from the DEP was awarded. that I applied for literally my first week here. So that came through $35,000 for recycling bins. What we're going to do is round up to an even number, and then that'll be used. They'll be the rolling tote kind with a lid attached to them, so you don't have to chase your lid down the block anymore. They will still be $10, which will subsidize the difference between the grant award and whatever that takes us to that even number. But again, very affordable compared to what we are paying for those. So that DEP grant was very helpful with that. The first state local rescue funds / ARPA funds, it's government, there's a lot of acronyms. That was allocated last year prior to my arrival by Council for Stormwater Authority infrastructure improvements. We are working through those at the Stormwater Authority side. However, the second disbursement should be coming June or July, and Council will need to decide within the scope of the provisions of the Act how we want to expend that money. So again, just something for you to start thinking about before. That should be $200 and some thousand. I don't remember the exact amount, and I don't think my brownies on Cordola's desk are going to answer. I have some brownies, by the way. My wife and kid made them. The other update is Broadway and the other Borough Road projects. So the young lady that just spoke was talking about the block grants. The 2021 block grant award just went out for bid. It was just advertised this past week. That is for a total reconstruction of Jeter Avenue between Kiefer and Cool. And then the 2022 application, as voted on by council, is to continue the Jeter Avenue reconstruction with block grant funds. So that application was also in before the May 12th deadline, or whatever the deadline was that she referenced. But anyway, that application is in. Broadway, we're looking at late June for UGI to finish their work. They have two work sites. The one closest to the one in the 900 block down by Helena is the main replacement, and then where they're back starting up by Casey Lynn's in the 1400 block, there is to do the laterals to tie in the service lines to the homes. So those are all getting updated. So again, late June. Ideally, the borough will be able to do and start their curb and sidewalk project shortly thereafter or right around that time. The vendor, or the contractor for PennDOT, Hanson Aggregates, is going to be milling Broadway. They are also going to be doing the handicap ramps, the ADA ramps that are not within the scope of the borough's project, and that all needs to start at some point soon. So to tie this all up, is the timeline PennDOT has given us is overly aggressive, and I don't think you're going to have a smooth milled and overlaid Broadway until the end of this year, with all of the other work and the delays that have occurred. And then after that, the pedestrian crossing at Broadway and Delaware will be updated. The signage and the flashing lights may get done sooner, and then we will put the reflective on the new pavement once that's done. So those are all the, and in the midst of all this, we are doing a micro surfacing on Delaware and St. Luke's Place this year with liquid fuels money. That will be occurring, but that's a pretty quick process. That's like a rolling single lane closure, and they may be able to get that done in one day. But again, that's going to give us some much needed preservation and extended life on the Delaware road surface from a few years ago. And then Public Works has a number of alleys and side streets that they're going to be tackling this year, including, which one are you starting, Jason? I'm sorry.
So we'll be starting on Maple Street.
There you go. Maple Street is starting very soon. And then our other two projects yet to go out to bid will be the 1100 block of Sioux Street for total reclamation, and then Warren Street in its entirety for a mill and overlay this year. So lots of infrastructure projects going on. We're getting there. But again, we're moving in the right direction.
Thank you. Next item is for new business, the Little League building repairs. What's going on there?
So the Little League approached Mr. Quarry, Public Works. They need a new hot water heater. There is some exterior lighting on the building they would like updated. So the question is, how much of this does the borough want to undertake in both cost for materials and also in public works manpower and labor? I once again looked for a lease agreement that supposedly exists. I can find nothing in paper, but according to the Little League, they do not assert that they have any, they contend that the borough owns the buildings and the property.
Do we have a key to it?
Yeah, Mr. Carr has a key.
Okay. Are you looking for any action, or is this for?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't know that we need. I just more need a consensus on what direction we want to go. I mean, I think Jason and I are quite capable of using our discretion. If you tell us yes, we're going to maintain the building to some degree, we can just make those decisions operationally and administratively. But I don't want to go ahead and do that with the assumption that that's what you all want to do.
Anybody have any thoughts?
I think it's ideal that we at least address the exterior lighting, as that backs up on pool property and the library property, and that part of the block anyway is pretty dark, so I think it would be good to have some lighting around there, some updated lighting. And then, I mean, hot water heater's not super expensive. I don't think that they need a huge one in that building for what they're doing there. So I'm in favor of providing that for them.
Anybody else?
And if we can get an updated lease actually done.
That would be
Meanwhile.
nice. I was always told there was one and they were responsible for maintenance, but I've not seen it either.
Yeah, and at this point, I think it's almost, we just have to figure out what their actually, their intended scope of use is, as far as, all right, so they need a lease for the fields or the snack bar, the building, whatnot. So I think we need to sit down, and that's probably something worth addressing. We'll add that to later.
All right, let me ask the question the other way. Is anybody against allowing our people to get involved? All right, you have your consensus.
Okay, very good. And again, if there's something abnormally big and expensive, then we would bring that to your attention. But just the general maintenance items like this, I mean, Mr. Quarry and I will just, we'll take care of what needs to be done.
Because the building has to be maintained before it gets too bad.
All right, that's all for the new business. Anybody else have any new business? Seeing and hearing none, we will move on. Resolutions. Group Resolution 2022-19. This is the asphalt purchase.
Bituminous asphalt, yes.
The bituminous asphalt.
Bituminous, I've been
Bituminous.
practicing, so I like to say it. So it's the escalator clause. It effectively takes what PennDOT requires for large projects and puts it into our smaller projects, the laundry list that I just referenced. It should help us, per the borough engineer, get some more bids and be more competitive this year, just because it protects the contractor from the wild uncertainties of asphalt pricing right now with the oil.
Bituminous asphalt. All right, having said that, is there a motion to approve a resolution 2022-19?
Make the motion.
Mr. Trabo, is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Johnson, any other questions on the motion? Hearing none. Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Trotter? Mr. Trabo? And I vote yes. The resolution's approved. The next item is Resolution 2022-20. It's the intergovernmental cooperation between our borough and the city of Bethlehem regarding the yard waste. We talked about that at the April 20th meeting. Are there any questions?
If we're going into this, is our garbage collection still gonna pick up the yard waste and stuff?
Yeah, this has no bearing on anything we have in place with Republic Services. Ultimately, what this does is it just formalizes the verbal agreement that we've had in the past with their yard waste center, because now they have some increased third-party costs that they don't want to be exposed to should we suddenly change course and go somewhere else. So this just locks us in for 3 years. But honestly, looking around, this is what they're providing us for the price is you're not going to find it anywhere else. So.
Any other questions? Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution
I'll make the
2022-20. Mr. Treble, are you going to second it? Mr. Trotter seconds it. Any other questions? Hearing none. Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Trotter? Mr. Treble? And Mr. Blatt says yes. And it's the end of the resolutions. We have two ordinances. Ordinance 867 to amend our parking on the south side of Aranca Street. I believe that's to make it a one-way or, no parking, correct?
Correct.
Any questions on that? We talked about that at the April 20th meeting.
And it was advertised as per the Borough Code, and we also sent letters to any resident whose property abutted that piece of Ronca Street on all four sides. And I received one email feedback comment who indicated they were very much in favor of it, and we should go ahead and do it.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 867. Ms. Ms.
Second.
Jordan, Mr. Treble, any other questions? Hearing none, Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Jordan,
Yes.
Mr. Trotter, Mr. Treble, and I vote yes. Next ordinance is 8668 to reduce the zoning board from 5 to 3 with an alternate who will attend the meetings but not vote unless there is a disqualification or a conflict.
Correct, or obviously if one of the regular members is not present, and that would occur as soon as I find an alternate. So anybody want to be on the zoning hearing board, please send me an email and a resume.
Do I hear a motion to approve ordinance 8668? Mr. Trotter, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Treble, are there any other questions? I would just note I was around when we went from 3 to 5, and now we're going back. Having said that, Ms. Jordan,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Trotter, Mr. Treble, and I vote yes. Those are the two ordinances. Now, for motions, motion to approve the sale of the 1996 KME fire engine. I believe it's going to Peru.
Yes, sir. The high bidder was $8,500. We were looking for 10, but we listed it twice. This is as high as it's gone. I don't know that we're going to do any better by continually listing it. The gentleman who bought it provided me a letter that he is buying on behalf of a fire department in Peru and is replacing a 1973 fire engine. So they are very excited to get it.
All right, I will entertain a motion to approve
So
that
moved.
sale.
I'll make
Ms.
the motion.
Johnson,
Second.
Mr. Treble seconds it. Are there any other questions? Hearing none, Ms. Jordan,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Trotter. Mr. Treble. And I vote yes. Let's sell the property. Next item on the motions, final payment to Pipe Services Corporation in the adjusted amount of $46,722.49 as recommended by the borough engineer. That's to finish what's the word I'm looking for? The filming of the pipes?
Correct. Yeah, this would be the final payment for the video inspection of the pipe system,
That
the
was the word.
sanitary sewer system.
That was the word I was looking for.
Is that for the laterals?
Yeah,
We did the laterals as well. So this is all the main lines, all of the laterals, everything except the force main, which is from the pump station down on Brighton Street up to Fayette Street, Fayette.
Now, are they going to be replacing that meter down in Bishop Thorpe also, Bishop Thorpe and Broadway?
Yeah, that is a City of Bethlehem project. We are paying our fair share of that. That contract was approved, and actually the contractor is applying for their highway occupancy permit as we speak.
When are they going to start doing the sewer work? Although we know.
In what sense?
Well,
Storm sewer or sanitary sewer? So this camera system project, the video inspection was sanitary sewer. So the engineer has, I want to say, piles and piles of data from the video inspection that they are compiling, and they will make recommendations on what needs spot repairs, what can be relined. There's a lot of determinations there, and then once we formulate what we need globally, the idea would be to go to Penvest for an ask, and they either provide a grant or a low interest loan specifically for water and sewer infrastructure upgrades. But once we had an idea from the borough engineer as to what our project would look like for the borough, then we'll be back here and talking about it.
Are there any other questions? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the pay.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Trable, is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Johnson? Any other questions? Hearing none, Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Trotter? Mr. Trable? And I vote yes, let's pay the bill. Next two items on the agenda are regarding the waiving of the baseball field fee, the rental fee for the Salisbury Youth Association. We'll take them in order. In lieu of their performing field work and allowing equipment use. I guess they will do work up there.
Yeah, so Salisbury's high school field, where the Connie Mack team plays, has a sinkhole in the outfield. So it's actually where I played. So they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with that. So for this season, they asked to be able to use our field here. They were able to work out the scheduling with the Little League, and in lieu of the $30 field rental fee each time, they are providing a tractor, field drag, material to line the field, and also manpower to assist with the maintenance of the field. So, in my mind, I think that's a win for our Little League fields here.
And I agree. Are there any other questions about that? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve
So moved.
the waiver. Ms. Jordan, Mr. Trable. Any other questions? Hearing none, Ms. Jordan,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Trotter, Mr. Trable, and I vote yes. Same request, this time from the Southside Slugger Youth Baseball.
Yeah, so this one actually is pretty closely tied, from what I understand from Mr. Yursek from the Little League, is that when the folks age out of Fountain Hill Little League here, this is the team that now exists. So there is a lot of Fountain Hill kids also involved in that. However, they're a separate organization, so they've provided the liability and the insurance as required. They're just also looking for a waiver because they would be here maintaining the fields as well.
I will entertain a motion to approve that. Ms. Johnson, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Trable, any other questions? Hearing none, Ms. Jordan.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Trotter. Mr. Trable. And I vote yes. So those fees are waived. All right, old business, the pool. We've heard a lot of citizen input, both at the February 28th meeting, which was not very well attended, and the last couple of meetings here. As I recall, I guess at the first meeting in April, there was a motion to permanently close the pool. I'd like to address this with full council, with Ms. Graham and Mr. Roof attending, but has anybody's mind been changed, or is anybody willing to reconsider the decision to permanently close the pool?
Well, I'll just tell you what I think, since I'm the one that made the motion. I feel that when we made that motion, it was the only thing that ever woke anybody up. We had a survey, most people didn't take it. We had a town meeting that was very well advertised, as was the survey, for months and months. We had 19 people show up, and that was the interest. So we made a motion to close the pool permanently. And all of a sudden, everybody woke up, which is really what we wanted in the first place, to see if there was any interest in the borough. And now we see that there is, which is a good thing. And I think Mr. Zofko
is really gonna be the champion of this. So, in my opinion, what should happen, I think that we made the motion, but we don't have to do anything. We don't have to take any action on that motion. So, we can't really open the pool this year. That's a done deal, that's not happening. What we can do is we can keep the pool on life support. We have the pumps running, we have everything, we'll maintain the pool so that it's not, we're just not closing it off, it's not over. We're maintaining it, and we're giving Fountain Hill and the concerned citizens a chance, with Mr. Zofko in the lead, to just see how much real interest and cooperation there is. So, I feel that it's kind of a win-win, because everything stays in place, but nothing gets closed down. The opportunity is still there, the potential is still there, and we'll have 4 or 5 months to see what you can do, to see if there's a real interest. Everything's on hold, nothing's gonna be closed or taken down. Everything just waits to see if this interest stays, which I hope it does, because as much as you might not believe me, I was there the day they opened that pool. That pool was part of my life too. I've lived here all of my life. And I would love to see that happen. I would love to see Mr. Zofko resurrect a community involvement that we haven't seen in a long time, and this is a perfect way to start. So that's just how I see it. I think we should give it a chance, but there'll be a timeline as far as seeing that interest, because we do have budget constraints that we have to deal with later in the fall. But I think from now until the fall, when we have to make budget decisions for next year, we'll have a pretty good idea. Don't you think, Mr. Zofko, that that's time to see if there's any progress? I'm not saying you have to come in here, but.
I mean, what we'll tell is we have a meeting that's coming up next week.
Right.
We have door hangers that are gonna be going on door handles this week to invite people to that meeting. Hopefully, nobody will be able to fit there anymore. You know, but as all things, you know, things wane. You know, it's always boils down to a dozen people that are leading it and fighting it and whatever. And we'll see, okay? I agree with you. I mean, my worst nightmare, frankly, is to be right up there next week with 4 people sitting in front of me, okay? And if that's the case, we know that, right? I mean, we still gave it a shot. But from what I can tell of, you know, things that people have told me and have come out, there seems to be an interest. We'll know very quickly, and, you know, I thank you for your reconsideration of that. The borough's worth it.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Does it's not your turn yet, Jason. You had your chance. Anybody wish to build on what Ms. Jordan said, or wish to add to what Ms. Jordan said?
I'm in full agreement. I mean, I've made it clear from the beginning that I'm not in favor of permanently closing the pool. But I do think that this year is we're kind of stuck with the decision that was made for this year. And it will allow us time to see what Mr. Zofko's can put together, and I will be here on May 12th as well, supporting you as much as I can. And I'm in favor of making sure that the pumps work, getting all that done, and seeing what we can do to facilitating some much needed repairs in the meanwhile, so that, you know, we're not behind the 8 ball should something change. But yeah, I'm in agreement as well.
Anybody else? I agree also with what everybody said. I would like to really see the pool stay open, even if Mr. Zofko's committee doesn't succeed or isn't as successful as he would like it to be. And I'm wishing you well, Mike. I'm just saying I'd like to see the pool open no matter what. On a related item, is there any interest in pursuing the grant that Miss and Newsfile, am I saying that right? Is she still here? She left.
Let's get some info first, just not that
She said the deadline was this week.
well, I'll find out tomorrow.
All right. But you said you needed authorization to proceed if the deadline
Well, if
is
we're going
this
to
week.
apply for it, because I mean, I think there also needs to be some consideration of the fact that if that's and I'm not saying that she's
Yeah, that-
deliberately lying,
That
but,
doesn't sound right to me at all, that we would limit use
well,
of the
and that's
pool
why I
to
think we should
borough
probably
residents.
find out things in writing
Yeah,
before we.
can't decide that tonight because
Yeah.
that's a big,
I agree.
that's a
We also
big
need to
problem.
find out. We also need to find out if we're competing against ourselves against the Jeter Avenue grant. And there's a lot of considerations in there, but literally I talk to
Okay.
Miss Moyer every other day, so I mean I'll add that to my list for tomorrow morning, if not tonight.
Now, for the upcoming season, that would be 2022, what is our arrangement with Hellertown?
Well, here, sorry, before we jump over, I want to make something clear, and I don't know if Jason can particularly tell me or not. There's talks about having the pumps run. Right now, we have a motion that's approved that the pool is getting closed. So if we have to run the pools, there has to be a motion. We're going to have to do something to amend that previous motion to allow those pumps to run.
So we didn't have a date on that. We didn't have a specific time that we were gonna close the pool. We just made the motion to close the pool without any
I think,
specifics.
so I think,
You're
I think
thinking
I
like a
understand what you're
lawyer.
saying. So
You're
we
thinking
need,
like a lawyer,
so
Ms.
it would be
Jordan.
closed for public use.
Well, what I'm saying is any change to the motion we currently have, we're going to have to do something to change that motion. Because right now, if we're closing the pool, I mean, we can't just hold off on taking action on closing the pool. If we need to run the pumps or if there's something that we need to do to buy time, we have to amend that previous motion. And I'm not saying we do that tonight, because to do that with the member of council that are present, we need a unanimous vote of council that is present. However, if the pumps don't need to run until the June vote, what we can do is put it up, make a motion to consider that the next meeting, when we have full council hearing, we only need a simple majority. But my concern is we can't just take no action to turn the pumps on, to make sure the pumps run, despite the fact that the pending council vote that's already out here is to close the pool.
It
So I
doesn't-
think that's something that needs to be resolved.
A vote doesn't have to wait till June, it can wait till the second meeting in May, correct?
If council decides to do that, council can put whatever they want on the agenda. I know, again, we had a discussion about having votes at the second meeting of the month. But however, if council wants to put that on the agenda, they certainly can.
Do we need to turn on the pumps before June? Or then it can wait till June?
Works for me.
Works for me.
So you need a motion then to put it off till June? Is that?
No, he needs a motion to rescind the decision to permanently close the pool.
Sorry to make this a little bit more complicated than it already is. I actually need a motion for council to consider a motion to amend that pool vote.
I will make that motion as Dave just
All right.
specifically
All right.
said.
A motion is by Ms. Johnson to consider the rescission, or to consider rescinding the motion. Amending. Okay. Is there a second?
I have a question. Sure. What happens if we don't run the pumps?
I don't know. I'm not
So
an engineer.
Jason, shake your head yes, so you don't have to get up, but unless I'm wrong, and then wildly shake it no. The issue isn't necessarily, I mean, the pumps need to be run, but the thing is, we need to recirculate, by come summertime, we need to move the water or drain it, because we're gonna have a mosquito pit. So that's really what it comes down to, right?
So the pool's
Microphone.
So at the present time, the pool is completely drained, and we do not have to fill it with water. We have to make sure that everything stays winterized, and we can continue to leave it the way it is. I guess my question would be, are we moving forward with repairs that need to be done in order to get the pool running?
So that would be, again, something we would have to consider at the June meeting, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, one, you can't consider it tonight because it's not on the agenda. I mean, it depends on how broadly you want to take pool discussion. But I mean, I would think we probably should have a better understanding of where we're going before we sink money into the pool. Which is, I mean, again, just
Yeah,
my recommendation.
Yeah, I think so too, seeing how it comes about with the meeting on May 12th and the like. So I think we need to put that off. Make the motion tonight, as Mr. Berger suggested, that we amend it in the first June meeting.
Yeah, and to be clear, that's not something, council can also, depending on how the June meeting goes and how everything council goes, if this is not something that you have to approve amending at that June meeting. It's just a procedural vote now, to give everyone time for the June meeting.
Yeah.
By moving ahead with, amending, we can still keep in place what we are talking about as far as seeing what we can develop as far as the,
Correct, because I don't see anything change. I mean, I don't see any action having to be taken in the next month. My concern is not with the next month. My concern is the next 2 or 3 months fall budget time. It's not something that can wait that long, because I think something might need to be done. So with that being the case, this is the reason procedurally for pushing the vote out until June.
So nothing changes as far as the discussion we've had, with your proposal and.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right, we have the motion by Ms. Johnson to reconsider amending the.
Norm?
Yes, yes.
Just so I'm clear, so we don't end up in the same situation next year, if Mr. Stocco does actually get something together, preferably the sooner the better, so we can get the repairs and whatever needs to be done to that pool. We don't wanna wait until October, because a lot of the maintenance and things of that nature that needs to be done to that pool, the pool has to be up and running in order to make sure that the repairs are done. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I think you'll have more of a direction after the June meeting is over. Do I have a second on Ms. Johnson's motion? Mr. Trotter, any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Jordan?
Yes?
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Trotter?
Yes.
Mr. Trable? And I vote yes. Okay, so we're going to reconsider amending the decision.
That's dependent upon what Mr. Zofko's, what happens with the.
Well, it's depending upon that, and it's depending upon if there's just a general change now that some more people have been,
And I think we'll have more information on that grant as well.
Exactly. All right, now what's going on with Hellertown, Mr. Briggs?
All right, so based on the concerns that Mr. Berger raised regarding liability, which are well-founded and were well taken, we went back to Hellertown, and they have proposed a 10% surcharge on every pass sold here as a contribution towards their maintenance for this year. I think that is more than fair. It removes us from the liability picture, and it gives our residents an option for this year while we sort out the rest of this.
Okay.
So.
On a more basic level, our residents can purchase a season pass for the Hellertown pool at their residence rate with a 10% surcharge.
So the resident of Fountain Hill would be able to buy it at the Hellertown Borough resident rate. We would then subsidize the difference between a resident and a non-resident, we being the borough. We would also eat that 10% surcharge, because it's kind of silly to subsidize the difference and then tell them they have to pay 10% on top of it. So that would be our subsidy, which I think it gives a good option, and I still think it is far below what we would pay just in labor costs to operate our pool this year if we could.
And that is only for season passes. If I, as a resident, want to go to Hellertown for a day, I would pay the non-resident rate.
So if you could buy a block of 8 day passes here. So you and 7 of your friends could go tomorrow, or you yourself could go 8 on 8 different days. But you would then get the resident rate if you prepaid for those.
Plus the 10% surcharge.
Plus, we would pay the 10% surcharge.
The borough would pay
Yes,
the
yeah,
surcharge.
yes.
So, but again, if I just want to go twice. I'm not interested in either the 8-day pass or the season pass. I would pay the
My understanding is everyone at the gate pays the same rate.
Okay, perfect.
So whether you're a resident or not, and Allentown is the same rate. So the only way you're saving as a resident is if you prepay.
And do we know what that cost is?
For the season pass.
For the season, and is it for a family pass or
My friend
an
Google here
individual?
can tell me. I'm sure it's in the agreement that you're going to have to execute at the June meeting
Okay.
because we need to,
In other words, we don't know to
I can tell
And
you
that-
what it
and
is
that's
right
okay.
here on the, well, if they update their website. The 21 rates are on here.
all right. But, and that's okay. All right, any other old business?
Now, question.
Sure.
Could this, the fact that we're gonna sell passes for the Hellertown pool, could that be like a barometer about how many people actually would use the pool?
Yes and no. I mean, I think there's too many variables to draw a reasonable conclusion from that. I mean, you're talking about travel time. It's just, I think it's too different. I would certainly not do any type of quantitative analysis based on that. It's just another factor when we look at things that, sure, yes, we solely sold this many, but I would advise against solely basing a decision on that.
Any other questions or any other old business? All right, moving on, President's report. Like the mayor, April was a very busy month. I want to thank everybody that had anything to do with the Easter egg hunt. I thought it was well attended. I thought it brought back a sense of normalcy to the borough, or pre-COVID normalcy to the borough, and I want to thank everybody that had anything to do with it, from whether you donated candy, whether you donated money, whether the police donated their time. I don't know who striped the field or marked up the field, but I want to thank everybody. The opening day ceremony at the Little League field, I got a last moment invitation. I believe the mayor and his wife also got a last moment invitation, but I thought it was well. I thought it was well done, and I thought the borough was well represented there, and I want to thank everybody involved there. The drug drop-off, chief, you said it was a box?
Yeah, we got like 40 pounds.
That's a lot of medication, and, I'm sorry? Sure.
So just to jump back, I pulled it up here. So the resident rate, season resident for Hellertown Pool, $75 for youth, $95 for adult, $30 for senior citizen. If you have a family of up to 5, it's $200. And then an extra over 5 is $20 to tag on to that. So you're saving out of non-resident 105, 140, 75, 275, and 30. But then the daily rates are not different. It's the same whether you're a resident or non-resident.
Okay, thank you. I also want to thank the Arbor Day people, whoever put on the Arbor Day program, the Shade Tree Commission, the Public Works people. I thought it was a nice program. Unfortunately, it wasn't as well attended as I would like to see. I think there were 2 or 3 citizens there who were not governmental officials. But I still thought it was a nice program. I love the tree. I drove by it again the other day. I think it's going to grow and speak well for us. And the Memorial Day program is coming up. It'll be the Friday of Memorial Day weekend, I believe, at 1 o'clock up at the Triangle, across from the ball field. And I'm encouraging everybody to attend. It's very important that we remember the veterans who gave all for our country. Solicitor's report. Committee reports. Committee reports. The finance.
Please refer to the list of expenditures you have from the Borough Fund in the month of April. The amounts are from the General Fund, $166,940.41. From the Health and Sanitation Fund, $51,383.41.
We have a second, we have a motion, we have a second, and Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Jordan,
Yes?
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Trotter,
Yes.
Mr. Trable. Pay the bills, I say yes. Thank you, Mr. Trotter. Ms. Jordan, Public Works.
I'll turn that over to Mr. Quarry.
So as Eric referenced, we have multiple street projects coming up, which he already had gone over. Sioux Street, 1100 block, and the entire Warren Street, Delaware Avenue will be closed down for a little bit for a micro sealing. We're also going to continue on some alleys with the Public Works Department. Other than that, that's about it.
Thank you, Mr. Corey. The Police Committee, we had a meeting tonight before council meeting. A variety of issues were discussed. I believe they're preparing a list of intersections to restrict parking back to improve our line of sight. Is that correct, Chief?
That's correct.
And there's some other things going on. We're going to have the speed checks on Delaware Avenue again soon. So I'm advising everybody to slow down on Delaware Avenue. It's like the Indianapolis 500 at times. That's all I have. Is there anything else for you?
That's all I have.
Okay. House and Ordinance. Mr. Roof is not here. We will pass on that.
There's nothing new discussed other than what was advertised or motioned to be advertised at the last meeting.
Fire, Mr. Trable.
No real report, but I stopped by the firehouse on the way over. I stopped by the firehouse on the way over, and I believe they were practicing CPR. But other than that, I have no report this month.
Thank you. Recreation, Ms. Johnson.
Yeah, we had a meeting before the last Wednesday night full council meeting. We discussed a number of potential programs for the summer, as well as the possibility of opening a community garden, which we would like to do above the pool. I've instructed to get some soil testing done in the area above there. I've had a number of people, District Magistrate Amy Zanelli and State Representative Gina McNeil have offered the use of a large screen so that we could do movie night at the playground, and that would require the cost of purchasing the rights to some movies, which we've had people offer to donate to that cost, and also a community yard sale. So I'd like to get some of those items up and running, so we will be having another Recreation Committee meeting. Borough Manager, if you want to put it on the schedule, before the next Wednesday night meeting as well. Also for the park program, we will be operating a morning program again this year. We didn't have one for a couple of years because the Fountain Hill Elementary School is operating one, but they are not doing anything this year. So the park will be open in the morning. Looks like we have staff for that. We are still looking for staff for the evening program for 6 to 9. So if you know anybody that wants to work at the playground from 6 to 9, Monday through Friday, and has some experience running programs of the like, send them the information. It's $15 an hour and then $20 an hour to actually run the program as well. And one thing I wanted to mention, which also kind of goes with Public Works, the weather is becoming nice. People are using the playground more often, the basketball courts. We have had broken glass, garbage strewn about, graffiti, trash all over the place. If you see people, if you're using the playground and you see this occurring, please speak up and tell people that that's not acceptable behavior. There are trash cans all over the place, because what will happen is if we do not keep the park clean and neat for our community, then we will once again have to be forced to lock down the basketball, the hoops, remove the hoops as we've done in the past, and that's not fair to our residents. It's not fair to our residents that they can't use the playground because of the trash and people coming in and causing all kinds of problems there. Also, motorbikes on basketball courts. I live directly across the street from the playground. I see this occurring, and it cannot continue, or we will be forced to alter the hours that the basketball hoops are available. I don't want to see that happen, but we also can't we can't continue this way as a community. So if you're there and you see something happening, please speak out, and let our police department know. You're welcome to reach out to me and let me know, anybody on council, the mayor. This is a serious issue. It's a safety issue with broken glass for our young kids playing, and I want to keep it safe for our kids, for our community.
Are the motorbikes still there?
So I haven't seen one on the blacktop, but yesterday an unlicensed vehicle came down Lynn Street as Mayor Johnson and I were turning from Delaware Avenue onto Lynn Street, and he almost turned into us, into oncoming traffic. So, yeah.
That's very dangerous for everybody there.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. I second everything Ms. Johnson said. I would add one thing. The profanity on last Friday night was over the top, and I'm talking little children. And with the profanity, I would urge you to monitor your children and discourage that. And it should be discouraged up there. It's just. I toyed with the idea of taking my granddaughter home. All right, thank you, Ms. Johnson. All right, health and sanitation in Ms. Graham's absence, I will attempt to read this. For garbage, we took in a total of $19,452.81. For sewer, we took in a total of $34,452.77. Our grand total was $53,905.58. In answer to one of my questions of last meeting, if I'm reading this correctly, we have a total of $480,410.12 billed, and uncollected of that as of the end of April was 90%. That's outrageous.
Yeah, but I think it just went out.
Does that include the bill that just?
Yeah, that's
okay.
what it is.
All right.
It's a
Maybe
quarter
it's not
two
as
billing,
maybe
so-
it's not as outrageous
No,
as it
I think it's
looks.
just where we're at.
Okay.
I don't think the deadline's due yet.
All right. No. Okay. Well, then I stand corrected. But I also note that we have $61,000+ with our solicitor. How are we doing on that?
He's going to have a robust update for you in the June meeting, but we are making headway, and we have met and strategized extensively about how to collect our excessively delinquent accounts.
I know this has been discussed before, and I know there's been some resistance from certain people on council and the government. But are we thinking about taking the Portnoy approach and sheriff sailing the properties?
I mean, I think there's something to be said for doing that.
There's a lot to be said for doing that.
Well, I mean, you can take it for those extreme numbers, yes, you can do it. Also, the benefit of hopefully doing that is if those properties are encumbered by mortgages, mortgage companies will find out about it and go ahead and pay the bills. So it's definitely something that is being considered.
Thank you. Personnel Committee, Mr. Trotter. Well, we are meeting tomorrow to interview that candidate, correct? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Special or select committees, I don't see anybody from the fire department. Oh, Mr. Langdon, I'm sorry. Do you have anything?
What would you like to know?
Is there anything you wish to report on behalf of the fire, police, or fire department?
Our new truck is here, in service,
Hooray!
and we all got recertified by the American Heart Association, licensed CPR and first aid, and no bad news.
That's a good thing. It's always a good thing when there's no bad news. Chief, is there anything else you want to add?
Nothing.
Nobody from the library, Mr. Roof's not here, and nobody from the hospital. Did I miss anybody for special or select? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on. Privilege of the floor. Anybody wish to address council on any item? Jason, you had your hand up earlier. Do you wish to speak?
All I wanted to do is just say thank you.
Up to the mic, please. And we need your name and address.
Jason Brandon, 701 South Pupper Street, and I just wanted to say thank you mainly to Anne Marie and everybody else up there for just, let us have a second chance at it. You know what I mean? We just got to try to get everybody involved, and we got to advertise it
Hope to see you on the 12th here.
I'm definitely gonna be here. I won't be here for.
Perfect.
I'm not leaving for a while unless they take me. So, thank you.
Anybody else wish to address council on a non-agenda item? Sir, would you come up to the mic? I need your name and address, please.
My name's Tim Brown. I live up at 615 South Bergen Street. And listening to you there, Mr. Blatt, saying the turnout at the Easter egg hunt, the turnout at the Little League, it seems like we have interest in the community that maybe the pool, like I said, is not gonna be done. That, listening to your remarks, I think we're gonna have a good turnout maybe, hopefully, for the pool. Because you said you had a lot of young people at the egg hunt. That's people that will wanna look to go to the pool. You have them at the Little League. Those kids are gonna wanna cool off too. And I know, Mr. Grant, I think the last time when I was here, last meeting, I said to you about Whitehall Township getting $320,000 for a parking lot to double the size. A week later, a week ago, on Channel 69 FMZ on the website, said Whitehall Township again got $1 million from PennDOT for their parkway up there, their Jordan Parkway. So it seems like there's money out there that maybe we can get somewhere to be able to help with the pool.
Well, I think what you also need to realize is PennDOT paid for the pedestrian crossing that's coming. That's a transportation alternative grant. There's $1 million MTF grant going in the curb and sidewalk. Jeter Avenue is $235,000. So, although most of those, well, we just got $35,000 now for recycling bins. So, it's not like we have our head in the sand.
Right.
It just may not be the pull grant that everybody's looking for this week.
Right.
So, but I'm here since September, so we'll give it some time.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to say thank you for the job you're doing, and we'll see what happens.
Which job? I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Anybody else wish to address council on any item? Hearing and seeing none, there will not be an executive session tonight, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn. But before I do that, I would like to remind everybody our next meeting is May 18th at 7 o'clock. And I would like to encourage people to come down on the 12th for Mr. Zofko's community meeting of citizens. Now, Mr. Trable.
Yes.
Are you making a motion? Is there a second?
I second.
Ms. Johnson, I'll have a rising vote. Thank you for coming out.